Hey, what's up guys, I'm Joe and this is a no-dig fence. Hey, we're here on site at a job we just finished up. We recently just did a video on a no-dig Postmaster post fence setup, and that was new to us. That was our first ever no-dig fence. And thanks to SWI, we got a new Rhino post driver. So I'm gonna show you what we did on this huge industrial no-dig chain link fence. All right, so on this job, this is a 6 foot tall galvanized chain link. And what was unique about it is that they needed this big staging storage area, but ultimately it's gonna be temporary. So they didn't want just the regular old panels that are gonna get blown over, but they also didn't want something that was permanently set in the ground. So we did a no-dig fence on this. So all of these posts here are driven in the ground. We talked about the Rhino driver that we tested out in one of our past videos. So all of these posts were driven with that Rhino driver. And we were a little bit apprehensive. We agreed to doing it, but we were a little bit apprehensive because if you look at the ground, this gravel and rock is very compacted. So they have about, I think they said close to 3 feet of Donafill, and then this gravel that they've compacted very tightly. So even just to break this up was a little bit of a chore. So we were kind of thinking, well, yeah, I hope that the Rhino driver will drive these, but really not sure of how hard that's going to be and how much time it's going to take. We got some footage of the guys putting in some of these, so we'll show you that. But thankfully, what we did here is we did break up the top of that just a little bit. We used one of our augers to just get down that first like 3 or 4 inches, and then we used the Rhino driver to drive this the rest of the way. These were 10 foot these were 9 foot posts, so that, and this is a 6 foot, or the post is just a little under 6. So we drove these 3 feet in the ground. Again, it's temporary, so we just needed enough to hold. So in this one though, we've got a 9 foot post driven 3 feet in the ground and then 6 foot above the ground. We did set the corners and the gate post in concrete just to give a little bit more structure on the pulling from the corners, and then we have a big gate that we needed some concrete there. But the rest of the 1,200 feet of fence, every single post, no concrete, is just driven into the ground. Okay, so this no-dig system is obviously new to us. We're still testing it out, but how does it compare to digging and setting posts in concrete? Well, one, the challenges or limitation is that it does seem to take more time and effort to get the post started. There's, even with us doing a little bit of a pilot hole, there's some kind of back and forth of making sure we get that in the correct spot. And even on the footage that we had of the guys putting this stuff in, you can see that they had to reposition it a couple times before they got it right where they wanted it. But once it gets started, it's pretty smooth and drives right in. So that part is kind of 50-50 or a wash on how quick that is. I would say on the accuracy, if we were digging and setting posts, like dug a hole, ran a string line, set it with concrete, we're most confident in that we can have it, I mean, just super straight, super accurate on that line. This is a little bit more challenging because it jumps around a little bit, so you may have slight variations, but you can see throughout here we were able to keep it very straight and in line. So that's minimal, although it's a little bit more challenging driving them, keeping them exactly lined up just to the T. We set all these posts in 2 days, which would be fairly comparable to if we were digging and setting with concrete. But the benefit for this area was we did it in 2 days, so that's about the same amount of time for this amount of footage, whether we were driving them or digging and setting them. But we didn't have to have concrete out here. We didn't have to have water. So this being an industrial location, They don't even have any water on the site, so if we were setting them in concrete, we would have had to bring water tanks to be able to set that concrete. So that was a benefit for this particular application. And then also with this, we drove these the first 2 days, and then immediately after that, we were able to start putting the top rail and chain link on. Whereas typically, if we set these in concrete, we would give them typically a 24-hour period to let that concrete set before we started putting any tension or pressure on it by putting the top rail and pulling the fabric. So that could be a potential plus for the driven post. Again, the time seems to be a wash, so it really just comes down to what the scenario is, and we're going to continue to kind of test and see how it compares to the traditional digging and setting with concrete. Hey, thanks for checking out this no-dig fence system with us. I hope that was helpful. Make sure and like this video, it helps us out a ton, and subscribe to the channel for more fences just like this.